Hello everyone! Today we are going to redesign the Powerpuff Girls and maybe do a little sketch of our friendly neighborhood Mojo Jojo. Maybe not. I just couldn't help myself. I had to say it. Anyway, of course we're going to start sketching. First, imagine if I was just like, we're gonna start with the coloring today. That would be so I would be surprised if someone started a video like that. Should I try that? I mean, you can do it in real life. I'm sure I could do it. Anyway, I went into sketching the poses straight away, and that was pretty easy because I could just base it on their personalities, you know? Like, Blossom had a smart, I know what I'm talking about pose, and then Buttercup was just gonna be mad. She's like the edgy tsundere character, you know, so of course. And then Bubbles just had to look happy. After I did the poses, I went into designing Buttercup, and I tried to design the outfit and the face, and you can see I even did it a little bit bigger on the side just so that I could really take this whole designing a character thing seriously. You know, brainstorming and designing and thinking about stuff. I was really trying to do a good job, but by the time I got to Blossom, which is this character, all of that kind of just went out the window. And I kind of just went with it. I mean, I did try a few different things, but I didn't do all that much exploration overall. I did look at references on Pinterest though, based on the fashion, is it aesthetics? Is that what you call it? Like their fashion senses, what I thought they would look like. But I didn't think that I needed to do all this exploration because I had an overall idea of what I wanted since I knew their character archetypes? I don't know, is that how you say it? Archetypes? But basically I knew what cliques they would be in if they were characters. So it wasn't too hard, especially because their characters are pretty basic. It's like smart, angry, and cute. So for Buttercup, you can see that I ended up going with a little bit of netting and edgy stuff, like a graphic tee, because graphic tees are edgy. And then for Blossom, I ended up doing a V-neck vest thingy and a button-up shirt. And for Bubbles, I ended up going with really cute gamer girl type aesthetic because I gave her the high ponytails, and that reminded me of a gamer girl. Also, I don't know. Listen, all I play is Animal Crossing and Mario Kart. I've reached capacity. By the way, I just noticed that the outfit I was describing for Buttercup is not the outfit that she has on currently. That's because I change it. So I just gave you a sneak peek into the future. You're welcome. Anyway, back to how I picked the outfits and stuff. While I do wish I had done a little bit more prep, I really don't think it was necessary for this one because I'm just so amazing, you know? And mostly because I spent a lot of time watching this show as a kid. It's not the first time I've thought about this. You know, I had ideas before going into it. And I also kind of had an idea of like the types of things I wanted to keep, which actually made it harder because like I knew I wanted to keep their colors, right? Because it's so iconic. And then I was like, but I also want to keep the black stripe / black elements of them. And then I also wanted to keep their haircuts because those are also iconic. And then I started realizing that so much of their characters is iconic that basically I was just going to be changing their outfits, and that was going to be it, really. And I ended up, I guess, making them slightly older too. I don't know, it just felt like the only things I could do. Would it have turned out better if I had brainstormed? No, because I'm bad at brainstorming, so that wouldn't have helped me anyway. As for the line art, here I'm using a dry ink brush on Procreate, and I'm trying to keep my lines relatively clean and straight. Also, this is not the final outfit she's gonna have. She's just gonna have an edgy t-shirt. Anyway, I just used the dry ink brush and then tried to keep my lines relatively clean and straight, which is my kind of go-to if I'm like trying to not fuss too much with the line art. You can also see that I was trying to do relatively, you know, detailed faces / expressions, and I feel like this brush is pretty good for that because it's like textured, but you can still create pretty clear lines. And since I wasn't drawing like super big like I usually do, I mean, I usually tend to do like face portrait type stuff, but these were whole body drawings, so everything was naturally a bit smaller. And so I feel like this was a good brush to choose for that because I think it was like pretty easy to do small details with it and still have everything look pretty clear and understandable. And here you can finally see that I'm doing just a t-shirt instead of the other outfit that I was gonna originally go for. And then of course we go into the coloring. Yay! The coloring was pretty straightforward. I basically colored a base layer for each of them, so like you could see one of them is blue, one of them is pink, one of them is green, and then I clipped everything to that. So the hair layer was clipped onto the base layer for each of them, and then the skin was also clipped to them. And it worked fine just because I didn't add too much detail to them. But I don't usually do things this way because Procreate doesn't allow me to clip onto something that's clipping. So like the hair was clipped onto the base layer, so I couldn't clip a shadow layer onto the hair layer, if that makes any sense. Basically, it's like a weird limitation of Procreate, and so I don't usually do this because I feel like I don't have enough control. But I don't know, it worked fine for this one. I wasn't trying to add that much detail, and all the shadows were in one layer, so it was fine. By the way, speaking of Procreate, has anyone I haven't heard anyone on YouTube talking about the fact that Procreate is coming out with something new, and I'm bursting at the seams to talk about it with someone. I just have to talk about it. I don't even know what it is, but I'm so excited. I feel like they've made digital art so much more accessible to so many people, and I can't wait for whatever it is that they're coming out with next. I think it's gonna be something related to animation, maybe After Effects. I don't know, but if that's what they're coming out with, I am going to learn how to animate. Done, deal, decided. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Focus. We're over here. Here you can see that I'm doing the shadow. Like I said, it's all just one purple color on one layer for all of them. And I had originally chosen this very desaturated purple color that I always use. And to be honest, I don't really know why I always use it. On a whim, I suddenly decided to just change it to a more saturated purple because I thought this looked kind of dreary and sad. And I was like, why have I been doing it this way the whole time? The more saturated purple, by the way, I changed it to a more saturated purple, then of course I lowered the opacity and turned it up to a multiply layer. And I say of course, but how are you supposed to know that? Anyway, it just looked so much better being more saturated. What have I been doing with my life? I don't know. Anyway, the final thing that I went on to do was the lighting, and for that I did what I usually do, except that for the color of the lighting, I did the color of that character. So you can see right now I'm doing pink or blue for bubbles. For each character I used the color of the character as the lighting color, which doesn't really make sense, but I guess it looks pretty, so then I went on to color the line art, which, let me tell you, this works exactly like mirroring a drawing. It'll show you all the little mistakes of coloring that you all the little spots you missed, and then you're gonna have to go back, and then you're gonna be like, why did I do this to myself? I don't even have to color the line art. It looked fine before, but then you did, and now you can't go back. And oh yeah, the last thing I did was add a background, which, someone please help me. And here's the finished product. Bye!